Take 23.
It's César with the Food52 Test Kitchen, and I'm here with my friend Stephanie Bonnin, aka La Tropi Kitchen. And what are we making today?
So we're making arepas de huevo.
Stephanie's gonna show me how to make arepas de huevo, and I'm gonna show her how to make arepas de coco. Is it as simple as it sounds?
It is not simple. Like usually we talk about techniques like make a souffle, you know, and it's so sophisticated, but I think that one of the most challenging dishes to accomplish is to make an arepa de huevo. You are frying a dough that behaves two different ways depending if you are to the level C, percentage of hydrations, and you get so fascinated about how traditional cooks, they just tackle this by intuition, you know?
No one's trained, they just know.
They just know exactly. They can just hear the sound of the oil and understanding how exactly it's ready. They can just touch and they use their intuition. So for me to be here today with you and trying to land in like a more, you know, to explain to people how to do this is like really exciting. So we have here some corn flour, the one that I use to make arepas. Usually you can make it with fresh corn, nixtamalized corn, but for the purpose of this recipe, we're using the corn that is available on all the United States, something that you can make at home. So we're doing some corn flour or cornmeal.
So this is a pre-cooked corn.
Exactly, it's a pre-cooked corn.
So this is what's known as masa arepa, right?
Yeah, masa arepa, that's the name that is given to this way to treat corn, but also you can get some maíz trillado, and then hydrate it, like you know, like grind it and make a dough. So we just decided to go this way because it's more accessible for everyone.
This is the most accessible, and also, would you say this is what most like Colombian people use at home to make arepas?
You know, there is ways to do things in a traditional way, in an artisanal way, but I think that, you know, world have been changing so fast. You know, women doesn't have the same, like, you know, they just don't stay home all day and they grind their corn and stuff like that. So it's like, this is the result of more like a convenient, like a more modern world, you know, that you have already your dough ready or like your cornmeal ready to do your preparations. With this one, you can make from an arepa, you can make empanadas, you can make tamales, you can make many different preparations of corn, but for today, we're gonna make an arepa huevo. So we have the cornmeal, and then we have to hydrate this corn. So we have to put some of a really, really warm water. It doesn't have to be room temperature, it has to be really, really hot because you need to hydrate this cornmeal. So Cesar is bringing some of this water, and also
and there are exact measurements that'll be in the recipe.
Yeah, exact measurements are gonna be in the recipe, people. So we're gonna also add some salt, and then we add 550 milligrams of water. Add it slowly, you know, because you don't want to create crumbs on the recipe or on the dough.
So whereas other older generations, they just do it a ojo, by eye, you've actually done a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
So you're able to be like, okay, this is exactly this much works, exactly.
Yeah, because when you are like doing a pop-up and where you are like doing like a menu of this, you know, and also you have to give the recipe to a cook, you have to at some stand kind of like standardize the recipe. And this is the moment where, I mean, I don't know if you believe in, but I truly believe that we are energy. And that's where you send all the best intentions to this dog, you know, to be perfect and beautiful. Thank you for that. Yes. So also for the matter of color, Cesar have this amazing like achote oil. Can you please talk about a little bit of achote oil and what is so important for our culinary?
Yeah, so achote means annatto, and annatto is actually used in cheeses. So like when you get a cheese in the supermarket and it's like yellow or orange, that has achote in it, or annatto seeds. And it's a seed that's native to the Caribbean, to South America, and it just has this really beautiful color. And traditionally in Caribbean cooking, you would make like an oil out of the achote. So you would infuse oil with the seeds, let it do its thing, low and slow, strain it. And then this is basically the grandfather of like those little packets of seasoning with yellow number 5 that I'm not gonna name.
Oh no, we don't like that.
We don't use that.
No.
This is the stuff, and it has a really beautiful like nutty flavor. The color is different too. The color is not the same as, you know, artificial dyes.
No.
And like you can just see it and you can taste the difference too.
And also it's really important because anato has been used by indigenous communities as a way, you know, not just to add color to their food. They do it for like ritual like purposes. They paint their bodies. And also when you find food in Latin America, what has been kind of like a melting pot for so many cultures, you know, and creating what we know as our Latin American gastronomy. When you see like food that is colored at some extent, immediately you think about Africa, you know, like the African heritage of getting a lot of color on your food. And we're using that with indigenous ingredients. How beautiful is that? So now is the time for you to give the blessing with your grandpa.
Can I just eyeball it?
Eyeball it, because we're eyeballing. We're using our intuition here too. So I think that is perfect. Oh, I know you're Puerto Rican. There is like something similar than an arepa in like gastronomy, like Puerto Rican culture?
Puerto Rico, believe it or not, does have arepas.
Oh, really?
But they're a little different. And it's interesting because it's not as widely known as it is in Colombia, in Venezuela. Like when you think arepa, you think those countries, but there are arepa recipes. The most common being arepa de coco.
Oh, wow.
But it's more of a fry bread. It's made with all-purpose flour. And to that, it's coconut milk, sugar. It's really sweet. Mm-hmm. Those are usually eaten alongside something salty, usually like
bacalaíto, I think.
Like bacalao, but a stewed bacalao.
Oh, wow.
Or like a seafood salad. I can show you how to make those too.
Really?
Yeah, let's.
Oh my God, we're making also arepitas puertorriqueñas today. That's like kind of like a novelty for me.
There are corn arepas in Puerto Rico, and they call them arepa de maíz. So they literally call it corn arepa. And the dough for that is a little more loose, mm-hmm. and it's cooked traditionally on a buren. Mm-hmm. And a buren is what the indigenous Taino people of the Caribbean used to cook on, and then eventually the enslaved Africans came, they adopted the cooking method. And you know, back in the day, that's something you were able to find a lot. Now there's like probably 2 or 3 burenes in the entire island.
Oh, wow.
But it's a really beautiful cooking. Maybe we'll do that another day. Today I'm going to show you though.
Yeah, I love that. And that this conversation makes you think if arepa is a recipe or it's a concept.
Yeah.
Because like being a Latin American person and doing like the gastronomy that I know that I grew up with, you get that information where people say, no, this is Venezuelan, this is Colombian, and you open your mind and think like we were before all these imaginary constructions and lines, countries and all this information and all this like knowledge has been transcendent. So at the end of the day, I think that this is a way to think that there's things that get us together, cosas que nos unen más que nos dividen, como la comida, ¿sabes? So okay, I have my dough, and this is a tip. So when you can slap the dough like this and you can see your fingers and your hand is a little bit clean, this is a good sign that you have the right hydration of the dough. So just let it rest. We need to let it rest. So we usually, we usually put something kind of like a wet towel on top of it.
We could do that.
Because the problem with those is they tend to get dry. A wet towel on top of it to prevent for them to be dry more.
All right, arepa de coco, have you had one before?
No, baby, I never have an arepa de coco.
What?
You never have an arepa de huevo.
That's true.
Okay.
All right, we're even. Pretty simple. I don't know if I'm as exact with my measurements as you are, which is probably a bad thing, but we're gonna figure this out together. What I have here, around 2 cups of all-purpose flour, right? Arepa de coco, it's more of like a fried bread than like what you would think of as an arepa. So to this, I add a generous pinch of salt, maybe 2. Give it a little whisk. And I have white sugar. And this is a good amount of sugar because it is supposed to be a little sweet. And it's supposed to stand up to like the saucy, you know, saltiness of something like a seafood salad. We're gonna add baking powder. And baking powder is gonna give us a little puff. Wow, a Colombian and a Puerto Rican together, that's
fire, baby.
That sounds lethal.
Yes, sounds lethal. Dangerous. Like, ah!
Very loud, very loud.
Very loud.
All right, in the middle, make a little well. I'm gonna add my coconut milk. Preferably coconut milk that you made yourself. I know, you know, that's a big ask. Making coconut milk is not necessarily hard, but there are a few steps and it is labor.
And also to get like the right coconuts in a place where they're been traveling and sometimes they're sour.
Exactly. So whatever your favorite brand of coconut milk is, the best ones are Thai, I've come to find. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree, 100%.
So kind of the same thing with yours. Just go in.
And same to put in the good intentions too. Ave, same thing, same thing.
And you are gonna get a kind of tacky dough. And it's gonna look like it's not gonna work at first, but just gotta be patient.
Like everything in life, you have to be patient.
Exactly.
The good things in life.
So I just added about a tablespoon more flour. It's feeling a little wet to me.
Just feel it, baby.
Just gotta, you know.
Feel it, baby.
This is gonna be a little stickier. And this is almost gonna act like a biscuit. So I'm gonna roll it out with flour. I'm gonna cut it.
And it's really interesting because we're using two different kind of doughs. We're using a wheat dough and a corn dough, and each of them have their own specifics. You know, they behave in different ways. You know, they need different things. So that's something important because even though they're doughs, it's like people. Everybody behaves different.
All right, so how can I help you?
So how can I help you? So usually for the matter of this recipe, I can use 80 grams, 100 grams, but let's just like eyeball it, you know, like we've been talking here, like we're speaking to home cooks, I think.
So we have a few. Well, this is our special equipment right now.
Yeah, that's a really high-tech, you know, cutting-edge equipment, the Ziploc bag, which is gonna be really helpful for us. So there is, yeah.
You just want me to cut it?
Yeah, you just wanna cut it, and usually if your bag is really thick, better. And if you are conscious about the environment, which I am, you will reuse this bag as many times as necessary. We're gonna use also another cutting-edge equipment, which is a flat surface. It can be a sheet tray, it can be a cutting board, anything, and then you push it like that with your hands and then make this move. Why? Because you want the dough to be even.
So how thick do you want it?
I think that an eighth of an inch.
Like an eighth of an inch, okay.
Yes. So what you see right now.
I mean, this looks like a tortilla to me.
No, this is a really thick tortilla. If it is a tortilla, you know, tortilla can be more thin.
Right.
And also, if you want to go an extra mile, you know, to make it look perfect, you can even use a.
Oh. Ooh.
So now that we have this, we're gonna make sure that the temperature is I will say 400 Fahrenheit, 380, 400. You wanna make sure that it's really, really hot.
So it's pretty hot, like.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, because the temperature is gonna drop eventually. I will say like a safe temperature 375. And I think that this one is a little bit hot. It's on the hotter side, you see? Super hot. Because you want the arepa to like, pop. Yeah.
So that was like 20 seconds?
I mean, for the purpose of this recipe, we are giving the wrong facts because this oil is too hot.
Okay.
So if we were in the right temperature, it have to be a little bit lower. So we should lower and do another one that they can use for the purpose of the, let's just lower the temperature. So we have to let it rest a little bit and drain, like we're seeing right now. But as you see, we have a perfect puff arepa. And this is when things get a little bit complicated because there's so many factors here. So you have to make sure that you put a whole egg inside and then put it back to the oil and it doesn't.
All right, so you want an egg.
An egg. So you see it's completely puffed. So you have to find the right place in order then to put the egg inside of it. So now I'm nervous. And it's okay to be vulnerable, you know that?
It's okay.
The right place where I'm gonna put this egg to create kind of like a pocket without the arepa breaking. Ooh. So I'm gonna put it back on my spoon right here because I have to maneuver to do the pop. So I'm gonna hold it and I'm shaking. So, boop, and then so let's do another one.
Let's do a pop-up, just arepa de huevo.
Oh, bebé. You know how much I have to sell those arepa de huevos to make worth it, my mental health?
$10 on that arepa.
No, even
more,
$10,
20.
baby. I'm gonna let it rest right here.
Am I good?
Yeah, I think so. Just put it here, show to the camera your beautiful creation. So that means César does arepa de huevo.
New skill unlocked. So my dough's been resting. It's a little tacky, but it's not like, you know, it's manageable, right? So I'm gonna dust my surface with some flour. Okay, roll it up. We're just gonna try to get this as thin as we can. And then
We're using the same tools.
we're
That's
using the same
understand, yeah.
tool.
I love that.
All right, let's give this a test.
Now we can.
And then same idea.
Oh wow, it's puffing too. Working people, I can tell you that. Actually smells good.
You saw the coconut, right?
Yeah. When a pan de coco and arepa de huevo get together, this is what happens. Huh? There's I just waited like, how can you do that? How dare you to put an egg inside of like...
Wait, did we just create something?
I'm doing the extra mile here. Ah. César, this is our child.
That's our baby. I'm not ready.
I'm worried because this is already like...
It's okay.
I mean, like, what could worry me about this recipe is like getting the bread extra color because it's a second. So we're gonna call this new creation the Brian.
El Brian.
El Brian. So now you can go to the streets and ask, can I have un Brian? And this is what they're gonna give you.
Stephanie, thank you for showing me how to make arepas de huevo, which I've never had before, but now I'm a big fan.
Now you can have them. I'm really happy and proud to show a little bit of the culinary tradition of my country, specifically of the Caribbean coast of Colombia.
And now you know how to make arepa de coco.
Yeah, now I can make arepa de cocos. And we already also put an egg inside of arepa de coco.
Oh, where's that's hiding somewhere. Oh,
No,
there.
just bring it. I can, yeah.
Let's wait. So this is El Brian. Ooh. Yo.
I mean, this is a runny yolk, but...
That's how I like it. Good? Wait, I want some salt.
Even in the hair.
You're gonna be like, tie your hair back.
I mean, I'm not cooking in a kitchen, I'm just cooking here. So
Exactly.
we're gonna be eating my hair too.
It worked.
It works perfectly fine. I think that we have a millionaire in business idea here.
Oh yeah. It works with the sweet.
What about kimchi?
You can find Stephanie and I's recipes down below. And let me know, have you ever had an arepa de huevo or an arepa de coco?
Or an arepa de huevo in New York?